this weekend, it's Alan Ng's favorite weekend of the year. It is D23, and we were there. That's right. Alan and I both did live streams from there. Alan got more views than my live stream. He did
I had
win,
more information, yeah.
although his got copyright hit, but whatever. So check out either of our streams. You can see Alan's coverage from the floor. A little shaky on the footage, but we were there. So check out those streams. But there is a lot of news. Alan, let's go over some of the big announcements. What do you got for me?
What I got for you? Oh gosh.
Let's talk Marvel news at D23. A lot of things announced. Most of us saw what was announced at D23. A lot of us saw it, like, not a lot of it isn't officially out. Let's say that. So, and what I saw, Agatha looks terrible. I don't care. Ironheart looks better than expected, but I don't really care. And the only thing that looked maybe interesting was Daredevil. We can't show this. We'll get hit with copyright. But of the Marvel projects that were announced and based on what you've seen, what did you like best? Jump in, anybody.
Oh, okay. The Daredevil, but like it's because it's Charlie Cox, but I can't tell if it's Charlie Cox trying to be like, I'm finally Daredevil again. Don't worry, it won't be like She-Hulk, because you get a lot of the Netflix screaming, and I'm very wary and hesitant. But that's the only thing that even made me feel anything.
For me, it was the Fantastic Four stuff. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but just from those clips I've seen that you can't play for obvious reasons right now, but just from what I've seen, it feels like a Fantastic Four movie. I'm allowing myself to have a little hope. I'm allowing myself to have hope.
Dangerous.
Was it the same footage that they showed at Comic-Con?
It was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it was a little bit more because, like, for me anyway, because there were some things I didn't see from Comic-Con. So
it gave you the idea of the look and the vibe and the tone, and I have to say I like it. So, but this is a year away. Fantastic Four is supposed to come out July 2025. I predict it's going to move to the fall because it's the same month Superman comes out from James Gunn.
Yeah. And they just finished filming. Yeah.
Yeah. So they just started filming. So I think that you're going to get,
you'll see,
you're going to get Captain America February, May for the Thunderbolts, and then FF is going to be a holiday movie. That's my prediction.
Might be Labor Day. Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone else who saw the Marvel stuff, what are your thoughts?
I'm excited for Daredevil. I think Daredevil might actually be good. They took the time because they scrapped the original run. They had been like 9 episodes in or something to Daredevil, and then they completely scrapped it and started over because they knew they were on the wrong track. So, and I don't know if this, finds its way in to when Marvel started firing activists and started getting some real storytellers in there. I'm not sure if that's the case, but the fact that they pushed pause and then went back and said, you know what, let's give the folks what they wanted, which is Daredevil from Netflix. The Netflix Daredevil, in my opinion, is one of the greatest superhero adaptations we've ever seen. So if they can get the tone and capture that from the Netflix Daredevil, I'm all in. I'm ready to go. Okay. I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for them to give us basically Daredevil season 4. That's what I want. I don't want whatever Marvel was trying to do with that character. And I don't want anything from Echo either. Echo was a disaster. Give me Daredevil the way that we saw Daredevil in Netflix, and we're all good. So I'm hoping that's the case. They rehired the actress, Deborah Ann Wall.
Deborah Ann Wall,
that played Karen. They've hired everybody. Okay. They brought the whole gang back.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So thank you. Please give me what I got there because that's what worked. And, maybe I don't know. I don't think they listened to us. They just saw whatever they were doing wasn't working. But ultimately, that's the only thing right now with Marvel that I have a lot of confidence in. Fantastic Four, I'm still kind of maybe not. Everything else, I'm like, no, it's going to be a disaster. Thunderbolts, disaster. Captain America, Brave New World, disaster. Agatha, disaster. Ironheart, disaster. I think all of that stuff is just going to it's going to fall on deaf ears. Nobody's going to watch it. Nobody's going to care.
Yeah, I think the projects that seem like they are truly wanting to please the fans has any hope or potential. So yeah, Daredevil and Fantastic Four, and it sounds like Daredevil, they made significant changes behind the scenes in regards to like the original characters they were bringing back, and are the original showrunners involved? I think so.
No, they're gone. That's the point. They fired all the showrunners, all the writers.
No, I mean from the original Netflix show.
No, they did not bring them. No.
Oh, I thought they were.
They already adapted this in the season 3 of Netflix, the Born Again storylines. So I don't know how they're going to do that. But bringing back Deborah Ann Wall and Foggy, even if it's just for one episode and more, it shows they're listening to something.
Well, it's wasn't even that they were listening. Is the fact that they actually had a time to review the footage because of the actors and writers strike. Like they had nothing to do. So when they actually sat down and watched it and they saw what it was, their natural taste came in and play and said, you know what, we can't sell this.
If only that had happened with Echo and everything else.
Exactly. Like they'd already wrapped Echo by that point.
Yeah.
And Ironheart's been in the can for like 2.5 years. So we have to be actually a little bit fortunate here because it gives you a highlight. Marvel and whatever Disney's doing, they're pumping stuff out so fast, so frequently that they don't have quality control anymore. And
you're saying the timeline wants to correct, and we're going to get a good Daredevil just because they had time.
Maybe, but the thing is the fact that because of the strikes and because they had nothing else they could do, they had to actually say, well, okay, let's take a look at what we've got here. Let's see how much advanced we can get prepped so we can fill in the gap. And then they saw, holy crap, this is going to kill us. And like, that's your one thing of hope. It just, it basically just highlights to the fact that Hollywood, you kind of have to hurry up and wait there's a reason it's a thing in Hollywood. Is because sometimes you just can't rush things out to hit a scheduled date. Sometimes you have to stop, take a moment, and do it. And that's what I really appreciate about James Gunn, who made these posts recently on, I think, Threads or something, where he's like, I barely have reshoots because I make sure that the script is in perfect condition, that everybody's happy with it, that everything can be done, and that we trial it out so that when we do go to production, we don't have to go back and reshoot everything.
Oh, they definitely need that.
I am happy to delay a movie if I'm going to make the movie the best it can possibly be, which used to be the old model back then. Yeah, studios hated it because it racked up the price, but it's a lot cheaper than going back and having to reshoot a movie 2, 3, 4 times Brave New World.
Amen.
Yeah.
and oh my God, I don't know if you guys saw that clip of the Red Hulk of Harrison Ford turning into the Red Hulk.
Isn't it great?
Oh wow, it's
a great 25 years
bad.
Did you hear what he said? That he's not the first time he's acted dumb for money. That he just did not think about it.
Right.
Basically, just said he was high the whole time.
He just gives 0 Fs, man. Like he just doesn't care. As long as the check clears, that's all he cares about.
Yeah. Alan, what were your thoughts? I mean, you were there, you were on the ground. I listened to your whole stream.
Yeah.
It was great to get you. I mean, I felt sad for you.
Yeah. I mean, if
for you, it was like a funeral as a Disney fan.
Yeah. Not to broaden things out, the impression I got is Disney has no direction. Disney has no idea what it's doing or where it's going. There's what is the mission statement of Disney? I really, all they're doing is just pumping out property after property after property. The majority of the movies they announced were all sequels. They're just there to make money. They don't care about families anymore. Used to be that Walt Disney, he was there to entertain children and the young at heart. And now it's just making content constantly. The best thing they have is Bluey, and that's not even theirs.
Oh, that was strange. The biggest booth was Bluey.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Obviously, I don't have young
Bluey
kids.
resonates with people. It resonates with parents, with children.
Well,
what is Bluey for those of us?
Yeah, so it's a dog. It's a dog cartoon for kids.
Okay.
The thing is,
go to certain parts of Hollywood and get a thing called a Bluey.
Yeah,
I was making the Bluey. Yeah, I know. Thank you.
It's not Disney for sure.
But the thing is that you look at everything they announced, all the movies that Disney announced across the board, and the question I keep asking myself is, who is asking for this? Who is asking for Toy Story 5? Who is asking for Incredibles 3?
Shareholders.
Technically, the audiences that went saw those first ones.
Are they?
Well, Inside Out 2 did so well. It's like I can't blame them for doing that.
So we double down on that.
Look,
I prefer it to remakes.
Alan just said it. It's all prequels. It's all sequels. All they're doing is diving right back into the IP because they don't have any original ideas of how to do anything of
Disney's
their own.
never
I
had
just shared
original
another
ideas.
screen, Chris, if you want to drop that on there.
Please.
So here's another screen that I'm sharing. This is all of the stuff that they've announced over. This is on Business Insider. I got a video coming up in a minute about this, but you can see right here, Moana 2, Mufasa the Lion King, Tron Ares, Zootopia, Freakier Friday, Frozen 3, Avatar Fire and Ash, Toy Story 5, Incredibles 3, and then Mando and Grogu. All of these are some sort of a sequel or a prequel or a spinoff. Disney does not have any ability to create new things, and this is the biggest studio right now.
Well,
The things that they are doubling and tripling down on, it seems like, are the old IPs. It's just so, like, Chris, you talk about pale and male is stale. Disney is stale. This is the stalest company right now. And Bob Iger is tripling down on this stuff. He does not have original ideas. All he wants to do is just dive back into the stuff that's worked before.
Right.
Yes, it's going to be, in my opinion, it's going to be a disaster.
Disney has never had original ideas ever. The very first
True.
was adaptation of books, plays, all those types. Name it. You know what was original from Disney? Tron in '82. But what are they doing? They're doing sequels to that.
True that.
Incredibles was original. Everything that Pixar did was original. The thing is, you can't ask a studio that basically built their brand on adaptations of other IPs to be original, because that's not who they are. That's not what they're going to be. That's never what they're going to be.
But
they're
script,
not the Warner Brothers, they're not
the
Paramount, they're not Sony, they're not Universal.
Right.
They are.
But script. The fifth Toy Story. The fifth Toy Story. Like,
Yeah,
who wants, like, the fourth Toy Story?
In Aladdin, straight to home video DVDs. Bob
Okay,
Iger.
hold on. It's not that the adaptations were bad. It's the fact that they're going sequel after sequel. That entire list is all sequels.
Exactly.
They have two original features. I don't know why it wasn't on that list, but it's Hopper and it's Elio. Elio was a property, an idea pushed a year out. So it was supposed to come out this year. It's coming out next year. Hopper is a story of a girl who's I don't know. I guess she possesses a beaver in the movie. And apparently she gets really excited if you tap her on the head. But why? Who is asking for these stories? Who's asking for any of this?
I can give you an answer to that. Because of the box office success of those original ones, that's who they think is asking for it. Because
that's who they think are asking for it, but who's actually asking for it?
People who are terrified about doing exactly what Derek and everybody else on this panel and chat wants. We want different stories.
But I'm saying of people who have money and have to go out and buy these things, buy tickets for these things. No one wants a Toy Story 5.
Well, the thing is,
I'll say the only thing I could conceivably think that people want is Encanto 2. That's about it.
Well, I'll put it this way. Art doesn't really have a demand until after the fact, right? Because, again, much like with the controversy of AI, you cannot have made-to-order entertainment because people don't really want that. What you have to have someone passionate about a story, pushes it out there, and it creates interest in people. And the thing is, Disney doesn't really have that model. All they have is the fact that we've done these successful adaptations. Oh, you know what Eisner did in the late 80s and early 90s? He kept on making straight-to-DVD or straight-to-home video sequels of all the famous IPs that they'd done in that decade. Iger's like, you know what, that worked well for DVD and the VHS market. Since we don't have those anymore, we're just going to do it to theatrical, and we're just going to copy that thing over and over, failing to realize that even at that time, Disney acquired Pixar. Pixar was the original idea brand that generated in. They shuttered Touchstone, which meant that all the spec scripts for the more grown-up, but not necessarily adult, movies were not being produced at all. They then dumped a ton of money into Edgar Rice Burroughs' John Carter, and then they completely abandoned it because they decided, we're going to buy Star Wars, then we're going to buy Marvel, and we're just going to do those types of things. The fact of the matter is that if you try to say, hey, what does the audience want, as opposed to, hey, let's try and give them something they haven't seen before, those are two different things. Because again, if you try to cater to the audience, which is what Disney has been doing with essentially the pandering aspect of this stuff, you end up satisfying nobody. But if you just put something out there that you think people might be interested in, there's always a chance you might actually create an audience and be a trailblazer of sorts. That's how Hollywood worked. The thing is that what do you want Disney to do? Send out a poll to everybody on the world and be like, hey, what do you want in a movie? They'll never get a homogenized enough answer to actually deliver on that product. The only thing that they can do is basically get a new regime of people on a panel of executives that say, all right, we need some stories that we can tell and actually listen to people that have passionate, empathetic, interesting stories that they want to actually produce that fits to their brand. Because again, Disney's not really a family company. They're a company that pretends to be a family company. They've always been that. Walt and Ron Disney stumbled onto the fact that because of the dynamic between parents and children changed in the 1920s to 1940s, they realized that they market to kids, the parents will acquiesce. And that's what they did. That's what allowed them to sustain themselves. And when their movies weren't taking off and they were struggling because they're spending too much money on them, they invested in property, they created the Magic Kingdom, and they ended up becoming the outdoor mall that happens to make film and television to advertise their tourist trap. And that's what Disney is, and that's what Disney has always been.